brought forward in the late 60s, early 70s. I'm not sure what election caused that, but there was just a lot of activity in the Congress at that time that was generated around this issue.
Quick question on the 3 decimal places. I don't get that. With only 5 votes.
Well, you know,
Hey, how do you divide that into 3 decimal places?
it's carried out to 3 decimal places. So if you get 40%.
Popular vote or what?
Yes,
Oh,
yes, into the 5, sorry, yes. So another plan was to have district, yeah.
How does a fraction of an electoral college member vote?
That's one of the major problems with that plan, maybe why it hasn't. And that is another plan that you give, you know, how you divide that. But it really matters when you start like crunching the numbers across, you know, a lot of elections over time, right? All these presidential elections, you start crunching those numbers. Those, how far you carry it out, or if you carry it out, or, you know, can you split an elector's vote, are all sort of interesting. They all come out interestingly. You start looking at, oh, wow, how does this system actually produce results? It becomes very interesting to think about and surprising. Sometimes they're very surprising, actually, the outcomes that they produce. So the district allocation of electoral votes, it was first introduced in 1969 by Carl Mumm from South Dakota. I think it's interesting that the small states are the ones that want to change the electoral college too. You know, we're a small state that benefits in some ways from the electoral college, but there are other small states that don't benefit at all from that. South Dakota is probably one of those. In this approach, voters elect 2 presidential electors statewide and 1 presidential elector for each district. And that also didn't really go anywhere. And then there was direct nationwide popular election. This was sponsored by Representative Emanuel Seller in 1969, and it did pass the House, died in the Senate on the filibuster. And throughout the 1970s, there were several nationwide direct popular election plans that were introduced in the Senate. And one of them got 51 votes in 1969, or in 1979, sorry. And there's a whole bunch that have been, you know, put again up into the Senate in the 90s, and, you know, since 2000, none of them have really gained any traction. They're gone anywhere. In terms of state level action, clearly that's another route for solving this issue, solving or changing or altering the way we go about this, because the Constitution has great flexibility. States get to decide how they want to do it. So since that's the case, there are possibilities for state level action, and there's been a variety of things the states have done, including Maine and Nebraska, who changed it to you know, a district level vote, basically. And then Colorado, for example, in 2004 actually had an initiative on the ballot that went down in flames to divide their votes fractionally. So it's interesting that when it was put before the public, that it didn't get a lot of support. It was interesting too because Democrats were really, really supportive of it, and then suddenly they realized that, well, maybe Colorado's really in play in 2004 for us, and it might make a difference. And so then there came all of the leaders of the parties that actively came out against the change. There was actually quite a bit of campaign rhetoric around the issue with support and then change because, well, yeah, we want to do it, but maybe not this year. Let's see. So state level action. Okay, there's the whole number proportional approach, and that's that state electoral votes are divided proportionally, rounded to the nearest whole number, so you can still keep the elector, which is exactly Lynn's point. And then that was actually the one that was defeated in Colorado in 2004. And then there's the congressional district approach, and that was the same one that was proposed as a constitutional amendment. And it retains the existing statewide winner-take-all approach for both of the states, state senatorial electors. However, it would use a district-level winner-take-all rule for the state's remaining presidential electors, so like Nebraska and Maine. Maine uses this since 1969, and that was the closest we've ever got to sort of Maine, one of those districts working in a different fashion than the rest of the state. Perot just missed an elector here in 1992. Keep in mind that Perot got about 20% of the vote in 1992, and he got 0 electoral college votes. Okay, and then there's the National Popular Vote Initiative, which is on the table right now. That's sort of the main way that is being put forward to use a state plan that keeps the Electoral College. So the National Popular Vote Bill would guarantee the presidency to the candidate who receives the most popular votes in the entire United States. The bill preserves the Electoral College, so it doesn't change that institution, but it ensures that every vote in every state will matter in every presidential election in the way that Kim thinks about her vote mattering. The National Popular Vote Law has been